The justice, relief, or peace, they seem like meaningless at this point. After going through all this, there isn't any hope, apparently. Comparing to detention in Poland, the detention here in Denmark, there was additional abuse that I had to endure was physical, and I was incarcerated in a separate room rather than with other prisoners. Obviously, I refused because I knew what they were doing the first night. They were putting me with those Afghan minors. Obviously, they would do whatever they would tell them because they are dependent on them. So, to summarize, there was incarceration and then psychological abuse, like when they would come to the door to give me food as they were giving me some big favor, the intoxicated food. I would just take the chunks of vegetable or whatever and wash them with the water, and then I would eat them because I knew what they were adding into that. I tried eating, but they were almost 39 days I did the same thing. And then after they would hand me the food, most of them, they would slam the door to ventilate their frustrations and to show their passive angers. The third one was obviously the covert tortures with psychotronic frequencies, painful frequencies, randomly during the day, and at night they would mutilate, they resonate me to the point that I would wake up and I had no way to go out of that room. The fourth one was physical abuse the first night when they woke me up with these painful frequencies. I started shouting. I said, "This is not why I asked asylum for. I didn't ask for the prison. I asked for asylum." And they never mentioned if I asked for asylum, they would put me into the detention. So there, people, they came up in the room. I think one of the staff member was Afghan and the other two were Danish, and they just ganged up on me, wrestled me to the ground, and slap and punches and all that for 10-15 minutes. And later on, they blamed that I was trying to attack them. The fifth one was obviously the intoxication in the food. So this was all amalgamation of everything that I had to live for 39 days. And despite all this, I'm not hopeless, I'm not like giving up, but still apparently there isn't any hope. They just told me when I went to their border, actually I was going to Norway because I was finding a way to leave from here. They disregarded the papers which the Swiss police, they gave me the exit papers that I should leave from here. Those papers enabled me to travel from here and find a way to leave from here. They actually invited me to leave from here. So they told me if I apply for asylum, they will send me back to Dublin because my first fingerprints are there. Or if I do nothing, they will send me back to Germany. They never mentioned they will detain me. Then they put me into detention from one place to another to the third. And I was just hoping they would have some consideration, but they were trafficking, like, for the purpose of trafficking. And on the way, I asked them, "What is the way forward?" If we don't know, we are just transferring you. So that sounded creepy, but when I went there, everything was obvious. What they had a plan, the same plan, what they did in the Poland, using detainees and using minors, and to set them free and use them as a judges to persecute. So at the end, when they released me, they kept my two other phones. I mean, I just had them for 10, 12 years ago. One phone was probably 5, 6 years older, the touch screen, and the other one was very basic, 10 years older. I just don't throw them away. When I update, I just keep the older things such as expired debit cards, expired any other ID card or something. So they kept my two other phones and just gave me this. Even the person who was the return agency, she had a paper. She said on the papers it's written two phones. I said no, it was three phones, but it's only one phone here. So they kept, the Polish people, they kept my primary identity, my travel document, my passport, and they kept my two phones. And when I got to Germany, the last time when I was here, when Polish people sent me, they just handed me the paper for allocation to the campsite. But this time they kept all my expired IDs and previous IDs, everything else. So and just told me they have sent it to the campsite, and here in the same camp, the Eisenhüttenstadt I will receive here. I just told them, what I assumed about asylum, it's not the same. I came here with a different perceptions, and I was very clear, which I explained in my previous videos. So I have suffered, it says, over 7 months now. I am suffering. And it's not about documentations. In UK, for 3.5 years, I had all residence permits, valid documents, valid legal status, but despite in 3 years, I only got that waiting staff job at Fisher's Hotel in Scotland for 2 months, and that was also informal concentration camp for the purpose of putting to tormented pains and suffering with the painful psychotronic frequencies and other combination of frequencies day and night by their staff and whoever was there to persecute those, to execute those crimes. So papers or legal status is not the question. In Poland, when I went there, I had my passport, I had my legal residence permit in UK, I had exit papers from German authorities. They still detain me in the name of providing support. When you